everyone, and welcome back to the Mogul Performance Podcast, where we talk about leadership, we talk about growth, and we talk about the psychology of performance and just how to be an optimal human being. Today, we are diving into something that may be deeply personal to you, and that's relationships, specifically relationships as in marriage, but not just any marriage. We're talking about mogul marriages and what they are. If you're looking to level up your life with your partner, you have landed in the right place today. We will discuss what a mogul marriage is, what it is not, and most importantly, how your partner either makes or breaks your pathway to success. For those of you who are new here, my name is Dr. Evan Lynn, but informally, I just go by Evan. So if you reach out, you can just call me Evan. I am a leadership coach, but also, some of you may not know, I'm also a marriage coach who spent years on developing and helping high-performing couples to align their goals, strengthen their communication, and build something that lasts not just in their business, but also at home, because both of those are equally important. And we're going to talk about how some fail and some succeed. So behind every thriving leader is often a relationship that either fuels their success or very gently or quietly, or maybe not so quietly, drains it. For high performers, business owners, executives, and entrepreneurs, their success at work and their success at home are intertwined. The problem is that we see is that most people build detailed business plans. They focus so much on their craft, so much on their work, but there's zero investment, there's zero plans in their relationship. Nothing that set them up for success. For the one person that is going to see them through in multiple businesses, multiple careers, multiple jobs, multiple roles. And they're not investing in that relationship. These individuals, these high performers, right? They lead with strategy. There's a plan at work, but when they get home, they go on autopilot. The thing is that if your home life isn't healthy, your business reflects that. Everything in your life reflects you, your children, your pets, and most importantly, your relationship. You can't pour from a cup that's already empty if your home life or your work life is draining you. So here's what I've seen. You might be scaling up a company, but you're burning out emotionally, or you're winning professionally, but you're losing relationally, or you're doing great relationally, but something's missing, and transferring that over into your professional life. So I want to ask you, how much of your professional energy is being used to compensate for what is missing personally? Again, how much of your professional, your work, your business, that energy you're pouring into there is being used to compensate for what's missing personally? That hole, that gap in your heart, at home, what is that? A mogul marriage isn't always going to be perfect. But what it is about having a strong partnership. It is the understanding that that other person may give 90% and the other person can only give 10 or less. Marriage is not 50-50. It's not 100-100. These things fluctuate from time to time. And maybe, some days you're both at 5%. And it's all about using that last 5% to survive until you get to bedtime. But it's about working together to make it to that time. It's about building something together that extends beyond just you. But it's about your family. And it extends to your business. And it extends to your community. What I've seen is that healthy marriages create the healthiest leaders. And research actually backs this up. So couples in strong, supportive relationships show lower cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone, which gives them higher levels of resilience and then better cognitive functions under stress. So you lead better when your home life is grounded. So I want to talk about some real life examples of this. Alex and Leila Hormozi. Alex is a visionary, and Leila is an operator. They're proof that alignment doesn't mean everything needs to be exactly the same. It means contemplating each other's gaps and seeing what those are, identifying what those are, and being curious about what is causing that, and then being able to fill that gap. Or you can look at Chip and Joanna Gaines. They built Magnolia by blending creativity, authenticity, and also family first leadership. And then even between myself and my wife, I am very much a visionary, and she is a planner. She brings clarity and I bring drive, and together we fill the gaps. I see an idea and I want to run for it, but the plan in between is kind of is a blur. But she knows how to create those steps and help lead me towards that goal that I or we want to achieve. So one of the biggest misconceptions that I see is that if a leader says, I'm so successful in my business, so I'll definitely be successful in my marriage. That's like saying I'm a good CEO, so I'll automatically be a good parent. The skills are way different. I mean, just think about CEOs and what their marriage looks like. Some are really good. Some of them are actual mogul marriages, but some of them, I'm sure you can think of some, are not, and you've seen it. I mean, look at the example that we saw at the Coldplay concert, right? Financial security and ambition aren't enough to sustain intimacy in a relationship. Many high performers, they use being busy as a shield. If they stay busy, they don't have to face the discomfort that's what's going on at home. All you're doing is just pushing it down, and they're gonna bottle up. They invest in service level fixes. Honey, I'll take you out to a vacation. Honey, let's go out to dinner. And they're distractions instead of real structure and feedback in real time. So what do? Treat your marriage like it's your most important project, your most important asset, something that you want to invest in, something you want to build upon, something that will help you excel on both sides, right? This entire podcast doesn't work if it's just you. You both need to be invested. So how do you do this? Okay, we have quarterly reviews, right, at work, maybe biannual or check-ins. Okay, have those. Sit down. Create a vision. Have values and expectations. Don't wait for something to break just to go ahead and fix it, right? If your foundation's already strong, build on that. So what my wife and I always do is every 3 months, every quarter, we sit down together and we write out our goals for that quarter for our personal lives and our professional lives. This big goal, and the goal stems from the entire year. And then we reverse engineer those and we break them down into quarterly targets, monthly targets, weekly targets, and then daily tasks that we can do to reach that overarching goal. And we synchronize that together and we give each other feedback. That is what a mogul relationship looks like, is trying to create something where you're building it together. Whether you're working completely different jobs, at the end of the day, you're working together to be better, not only separately, but together. So the best leaders lead well when they're at home. Leadership and marriage share some of the same patterns, the same DNA. Both of them thrive on clarity. They need feedback. And then most importantly, they need trust. If you're struggling with delegation, empathy, or burnout, often there is a parallel in how you're communicating at home. So maybe at work, you're focused on performance and achievement. And at home, if love, safety, and belonging aren't secure, everything else is going to collapse. You can't lead and have a vision when your foundation is completely unstable. It's cracked. It's falling apart. It's washing away. Look, so when I'm coaching a leader who says that they feel their team is disconnected, 8 out of 10 times, there's a connection back into their personal family life. So what I'm asking you to do is I want you to notice the patterns. Pay attention. What's going on at work? Is it going well? Okay, why is that going well? How can you implement that same thing that's going well into your own relationship? What do you need to do? How did you get that thing to work so well? And then what do you need to do to bring that into your relationship? You know, it doesn't have to be complicated. You just take the same thing that's already working and you just bring it over into a different area of your life. That's how people become successful. At Mogul Performance, we use the same evidence-based approach in our coaching structure for couples as we do for executives. It's the same thing. The goal is simple. Create awareness, create alignment, and then have an action plan. We'll use different psychometrics. We have used the Myers-Briggs. You could use a FIRB. You could use Tom and Kilman to uncover relationship differences. I've even used something quite often called the SYMBIS, SYMBIS, saving your marriage before it starts, for those who are getting ready to go into marriage. And also there's a one of them that you can actually use as well for when you're after you're married. And it's just like the Myers-Briggs, breaks it all down side by side. And you can understand how each other communicates, resolves conflict, shows affection. Expectations is a huge one. Then when we move into coaching, and again, this is not marital therapy, this is not marital counseling, this is coaching, right? The foundation's strong, and we're working towards that next level in your relationship. Because therapy looks backwards and coaching looks forward. So we're focused on those relationships that want to go to the next level, not the ones where the foundation is already falling apart. Look, if you can't create high-performing relationships on a weak foundation, if you are struggling in your relationship, you need to go to some sort of marital therapy or counseling first. And then, and only then, can you start leveling up in that coaching aspect first. But it takes time, right? You gotta let this foundation solidify first. And then what we do in our coaching is we identify gaps between who you are and then who you want to be together, both individually and obviously as a couple. The result that we often see is the expectations, the clarity between both of the individuals, the couple, is strong. They see things that they've been together for 10, 15 years. Think they know each other so well, but there's underlying feelings, themes that they pick up that they didn't even know before. They're able to be more accountable in their work. They're able to be more accountable in their home life, just doing the things around the house. Maybe identifying what that little thing was that was just bothering them. The soap wasn't at a 45-degree angle and should always be at a 45-degree angle on the left side of the sink. All right, small example, but we address those. And it's those little things that build up, that create a strong relationship, because that makes you even more in tune. Soon enough, you'll be reading the other person's mind. And then we have a personalized roadmap for growth. So whatever your goal is, we create something together and we help you reach that goal. So when couples realize that their arguments are not personal, they're preference-based, that is when everything starts to shift, right? It's those expectations. When couples align, everything else just seems to start falling in place. You communicate better, you lead better at home and at work, and you perform better. Your home becomes your sanctuary, becomes your oasis. It doesn't become a high tension, high stress battleground. You stop competing with each other, you start collaborating, because you know without the other person, you would not be able to reach the goals that you would want to get and you want to achieve. The benefits that you get out of it: stronger emotional intelligence. You have a stronger family culture. You have increased productivity and clarity in your relationship and in your business. And you have deepened intimacy, and also connection. A thriving marriage isn't something that just feels good. A mogul marriage isn't always going to feel good. It's going to be hard. Being resilient, when people say, into couples, hey, you guys are so resilient. Being resilient sucks. It's not fun in the moment of being resilient. But when couples work together and they're aligned together, they're able to be resilient together and work through whatever challenges, whatever life throws at them. Doesn't matter what it is. They're able to work and move through it. It scales their lives. So if you are a high performer who's mastered the craft of your work, but you feel disconnected at home, it might be time to apply the same drive, the same energy that you apply at work, and bring it into your relationship. Because no level of success replaces the peace that comes from being aligned with the person that you love the most. Now, to wrap up, if this resonated with you, I have a full blog on all of this. And if you want to know more, shoot me a DM on LinkedIn, and we can create a relationship that not only lasts a lifetime, but thrives for a lifetime. If you want to know more, check out our website at mogulperformance.com. We have tons of resources on there that you can use. We have free tools that you can download on there. So go ahead and check that out. We got tons of blogs on there too. And then also we have our services on there as well. So if you want to learn more, check out our website at mogulperformance.com. Thank you for tuning into the Mogul Performance Podcast. If you found today's episode valuable, share it with someone who's willing to build not just their business, but also grow their relationship. And as I always have to say, don't forget, be a mogul.